If you ever want to completely destroy a 4 year friendship, I have the perfect recipe. Try planning a spring break trip with your roommates.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is the story of how a simple vacation plan turned into one of the most frustrating experiences of my college life and ultimately helped end a friendship I thought would last a lifetime. Let me set the scene. I'm a senior in college now, but this all started a little while back when I was still a junior. My best friend Bella and I had been living with two other girls, Sally and Jen, for 2 years. We all met early on during sophomore year and decided to room together in one of those four-bedroom off campus apartments. At first, it was honestly kind of perfect. We decorated the common area, made brunch on weekends, and even did a wine and cheese night once, though that ended in cheap boxed wine and microwave popcorn. But of course, nothing stays perfect for long. Over time, the group dynamic started to shift. Jen and I, admittedly, got closer. We were the kind of friends who shared inside jokes, swapped gossip, and vented about everything. And I'll admit something else. Some of that gossip started to be about Bella and Sally. It wasn't malicious, just small things like how Sally never did her dishes or how Bella would monopolize the living room to study even though she had her own space. Still, I can see how it probably created tension, and looking back, I kind of regret it. You know that feeling when you're walking on eggshells? Yeah, that became our everyday vibe, but none of us wanted drama, and we were all trying to keep the peace. So, we kept living together. The awkwardness was there, but manageable. Then came the topic of spring break. We'd always talked about doing something fun together, and junior year felt like the right time. We were finally old enough, had some money saved up, and just needed an escape. Bella and I were excited. We were thinking Mexico, Costa Rica, maybe Europe if we found a deal. But from the jump, Jen was dead set against leaving the US. She said international travel made her nervous and that she didn't feel comfortable going abroad. Okay, fair enough. We adjusted. After tossing around some ideas, we landed on Puerto Rico. It was technically US territory, tropical, fun, and way cheaper than other options. Problem solved, right? Wrong. Jen shot it down immediately, saying she'd had a bad experience there once. She wouldn't elaborate, just a flat no. That was frustrating because it felt like she wasn't willing to compromise at all. But again, in the name of peace, we let it go. We agreed to go back to the drawing board. By the time winter break rolled around, things had gotten more complicated. Jen and I had a falling out. We weren't speaking much, and that weird tension in the apartment got even worse. At the same time, the travel discussions started heating up again. With Jen out of the picture emotionally, I brought up international travel again. To my surprise, both Bella and Sally were totally on board this time. We started researching places. Greece, Spain, even Bali was tossed around, though that one was a little unrealistic. But the point was, the energy was there again. We were excited. Except Jen wasn't. She kept dragging her feet. Every time we brought it up, she'd say she needed more time to think or that she was waiting to see how her schedule looked. We had been talking about this for months. Prices were starting to go up. Bella and I started feeling the pressure. I pushed for real research to happen, real planning, but Sally and Jen weren't doing anything. It felt like they were intentionally stalling while we tried to keep the momentum going. Finally, after another long phone call, we settled on a destination that seemed perfect for everyone. Affordable flights, decent lodging, safe area, fun things to do. Everyone verbally agreed. For a brief moment, it felt like we were making progress. But of course, that didn't last. Sally dropped the first bomb. Her parents only wanted her to go for 4 days instead of the full week. Okay, annoying, but we tried to work around it. That's when everything started spiraling. Suddenly, Jen and Sally both started questioning everything. The safety of the destination, whether there were enough activities, how far it was from the airport. They brought up concerns that no one had mentioned before and that, frankly, felt made up. And the kicker, neither of them had done any research. Bella and I were the ones handling the logistics, reading reviews, and looking up activities. I was done sugarcoating it. I told them we were all adults and could handle ourselves. Bella backed me up. Then Sally made the most bizarre suggestion yet, that we all book separate flights, separate hotel rooms, and just meet up when we could. Excuse me, what kind of group trip is that? It wasn't just ridiculous, it would have been way more expensive. The whole point of traveling as a group is to save money and share the experience. It was like they were trying to make it fall apart. Then came the final straw. Just as we were literally about to hit book on the hotel, Jen suddenly said she didn't want to share a room because she didn't want to wait to shower after the beach. I wish I was joking. Bella and I tried to explain again how this would raise the cost for everyone, but Jen and Sally just kept delaying things. Day after day, new excuse after new excuse. And then, like some kind of cruel punchline, Jen said her family was dealing with unexpected expenses and that she couldn't afford the trip anymore. Not even a week later, Sally said the same thing. After months of us planning, suggesting destinations, offering to split costs, and organizing everything, they just backed out. No apology, no acknowledgement of the effort we put in. Bella and I were livid and confused. Why did they spend all this time stringing us along? If they didn't want to go, they could have just said so from the beginning. We could have made other plans, gone with other people, or even just done a trip, the two of us. At one point, I even suggested a way to front some of the money in advance and let them pay us back later, just to salvage the trip. Instead of even considering it, Jen just said, "Let's just cancel everything." And just like that, it was over. The trip never happened, and honestly, that moment was the beginning of the end. The friendships unraveled quickly after that. What had once been four girls laughing on the couch turned into cold silence in the kitchen. Passive-aggressive post-it notes started showing up on the fridge. Bathroom schedules were a thing, and eventually, the tension exploded in ways I'll save for another story. Bella and I moved on, we've traveled together since then, and our bond is stronger than ever. But that failed spring break trip taught us a hard truth. Planning a group vacation is like putting your friendship into a pressure cooker. You either come out stronger, or it explodes. To this day, we still laugh about it. But back then, it was a nightmare. So now I'll ask you, have you ever had a friendship fall apart over something that started off innocent? Would you still try to travel with a big group again? Or is it just not worth the risk? Let me know in the comments. And if you've ever been part of a trip planning disaster, share your story. We all need a reminder that sometimes it's not us. It's just the chaos of group dynamics. And don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, and send this to someone who's planning their next group vacation. Maybe it'll save a friendship before it's too late.